Hey guys, so in today's video, I thought it would be fun to show you guys some tips and tricks that helped me when I first started out in makeup 6 years ago on how to achieve wing liner. Now I know some people can stress out when it comes to wing liner, but honestly, it's just the luck of the day. I feel like even now, 6 years later, sometimes I can do a wing perfect, and then sometimes it's not as perfect, or it needs a little bit of work, or you're just not feeling it. So that's why I decided to do this video today and give you guys some tips and tricks that help me to get where I am today and just get the confidence to do a wing. And I'm just going to show you guys some liners that I love and that have worked well for me. I've tried so many over the last 6 years, and I kind of just have two staples. One's a high-end, one's a drugstore, that I just switch back and forths on just depending on what mood I'm in for the day. So the first thing I wanted to say is every single person has different eye shapes, and every single person is going to create a wing differently. So if this is not something that helps you, then that's fine, but I'm sure that, you know, it's at least going to help one person, and if it only helps one person, then I am happy. So I always like to keep that in mind when learning about makeup. It's just good to have an open mind. There's no right or wrong. Everyone's going to do things differently, and everyone is going to find products and little tips and tricks that just help them in a way that it might not help someone else. So the first thing I'm going to start out with today is I'm going to show you guys a few techniques that I started out doing when practicing wing liner, and then it's just something that's really easy and quick to kind of learn. So first things first is tape. Using tape on the corners of the eyes is so easy because you literally just take the tape off and it creates a nice sharp wing. Another technique is a cotton tip and also just some makeup remover, and you can just clean up your wing using the cotton tip. And then the last tip that I have for you guys is concealer. Cleaning up your liner using a bit of concealer on a concealer brush and just wiping away any marks that you do not want on the wing. Now, in saying that, the first eye is always pretty easy. I feel like it's the second eye that you have to match and make perfect to create that symmetry. Another couple of tips that I have to show you is what type of liner actually goes onto the eye. So you have something like a gel liner. So this is the Ingot Gel Liner, which comes in a pot, and you obviously use your brush to apply it. And I've got a few different types of brushes I'm about to show you. So that's one form of eyeliner. Another one is liquid eyeliner. So that's just what some liquid liner looks like there. So some brushes that I love to use with my gel liner. I have three here that are from Sigma. I think one of them is Zoeva. So I have the 317 wing liner brush by Zoeva. It's an angled brush. I love this because it's really thin and it's really easy to apply a wing. And then the next one is by Sigma. It's the EO6 wing liner, and what I love about this is it's really, really small. It's easy to create thin wings and little wings, so that's why I love that one. And then the last one is the E10 by Sigma. It's just a straight brush, so that's another style of an eyeliner brush as well. It's not angled. I don't tend to use these a lot. I still do. They're easy to create the wing, but I just feel like with the angled, it does all the work in the brush. Like, all the work's in the brush, and you kind of don't have to put too much thought into it, I guess. It creates that nice sharp wing for you on a nice angle. So I would definitely recommend to use a winged liner brush if you are beginning or starting out. So firstly, I'm going to grab a bit of tape, and I'm going to show you how to do the easiest wing liner. Honestly, the easiest. So you just need a little bit of tape. It doesn't really matter what size you get, I guess. It's just got to fit on an angle onto the eye. Now I'm going to show you guys how I like to angle my eyeliner. There's so many different ways you can angle eyeliner. It can be up, can be out. I don't tend to like do it straight or anything like that. I always do it on an angle, but just depending on what type of look I'm doing, and also the eye shape's so important, is how far I will angle it. I'm just going to use this brush as an example. So the overall look you're trying to achieve when you are doing your liner is if you put your brush at the angle of your nose, matching it up to the angle of the outer corner of your eye, and then the angle of the end of your brow. So this is the angle you are wanting to create your wing. For me, because I do have hooded eyes, I do like to angle it a little bit more out white, just so I can do it a little bit thinner and I'm not having any liner transfer. Which just reminds me, number one mistake I see a lot of people make is they do not set their lid when they do wing liner, and it does transfer. That also has a lot to do with the product that you're using as well. So number one, conceal the eye and set it with powder so it does not transfer. If your eyelid's wet and your your eyeliner's wet, it's going to transfer. So I've already primed my eyelids just with my P. Louise base, and I've just set it down using some translucent powder. So back to the tape. So I just start off by placing the tape onto the corner of my eye in an upright angle, just like that. Sorry, that was quite hard to do. I'm trying to look in the mirror and then try and talk to you guys at the same time. So that's pretty much how I would place my tape for my liner. Okay, so I'm going to start off with a gel pot and a brush, just because sometimes you have a lot more control using a gel and a brush. So my two favorite gels that I love for wing liner, and they're my OGs, is the Maybelline Gel Liner in Blackest Black, and I also am obsessed with the Ingot Gel Liner in 77. These are my two favorite. One is drugstore, one is high-end. So today I'm going to be using the Maybelline one because it is a lot more affordable for people to get, and two, because my Ingot one is a little bit dry. Another tip, get an eyeliner that is not dry or drying out, because it's so much easier to create a wing with wet, like fresh liner. So I've just got a bit on the back of my hand, and I'm just going to tap the brush into the product and then kind of tap it out and thin it out onto the back of my hand. It's kind of hard to show on camera, but it's just really, really thin. I like to thin the product out onto the brush so it's easier to apply. So I'm going to try and film this my hair's going a bit crazy in the back there. I'm going to try and film this the easiest way. I obviously have to hold a mirror so I can see, but I want to give you guys a really good angle so I can show you guys how I do it. So one, you could either start by the mono lid, creating that line on the top of the lash line there, or you can start by creating the wing outside here. I do it both ways, I'm not going to lie. I just do whatever way I'm feeling like at the moment. Today I'm just going to create it from the outer corner and drag it into the inner corner and show you guys how easy it is to fill in the wing with the tape. So I'm just going to start by dragging my my wing. I'm actually going to place it onto the tape just so we know it's definitely going to go off the tape, and when we take it out we're going to have a nice flick. I'm going to get the right angle and just drag. Usually I would just go straight across, but I want to show you guys kind of like steps to take so it's easier. So again, just dragging it like this. Oh my god, it's so hard to film this. Dipping into a little bit more product on the back of my hand and then connecting it to the front of the eye. So this liner is a little bit drier also, which is a little bit harder to work with. So this is what I've ended up with, just creating that straight line. Now I'm just picking up a little bit more product on the back of my hand, and I'm simply just going to fill in this line, okay? It's so simple as that. Filling in the line. You can just see how I've pretty much just swiped from the top all the way down into that inner corner, and when I open, it's thinner on the inner corner and then thickens out on the end. So now all we're gonna do is take off this tape, and honestly, we're gonna have a nice sharp wing. So this is how the eye turned out. Honestly, that's the easiest way that I find worked well for when I was learning. And with some lashes on, which I'm not going to pop on now, it's going to open the eye up more and elongate it as well. So now for this eye, I'm going to go in with a liquid eyeliner pen, and I'm going to use the NYX liquid eyeliner pen because it is a lot more affordable for people. And the number one tip that I have is when you're taking it out of the bottle, make sure there's not like heaps of eyeliner on the end of the brush, because you're just going to go in too messy too quick. So if you take off the excess eyeliner on the brush, you're just going to have the perfect amount to create that flick and go back in and really control what you're putting onto the eye. So I'm going to start out by taking the flick from the corner of my eye and dragging it up to the tail of my eyebrow. What I like to do is halfway through the flick, I'm going to take a little bit of pressure off actually drawing the flick and let it flick naturally. I'm hoping that makes sense. I feel like it just creates a more of a thinner, quick, sharper wing. I was trying to get the right words out there. So yeah, just by letting go some of the pressure on, you know how you draw a line and you just draw just a bold line and it's just going to be a bold straight line. And if you were to, what's that writing where you write and it flicks and it looks really pretty and it changes the shape of the writing? That's kind of like liner. I hope that made sense because I know what I'm trying to say. So I hope you kind of understand that. But moving on, we are going to take the product and just, I can't talk while I'm doing it, so I'm going to do it and not talk. So you can see how I've just created that flick on the corner of my eye and it's just heading up towards my eyebrow tail. So obviously you can see here how I started off nice and strong and black and thick, and then it just slightly goes lighter, thinner with that nice flick. So I'm now going to dip back into the product and then taking off any excess there. I think I want to make this a little bit thinner. So what I'm going to do, instead of taking it from the actual top of the liner and dragging it down, I'm going to go about halfway in, and this is actually going to recreate a whole new shape. So I'm going to go about halfway in and then just pretty much drag straight across. So I'm just dragging it to the corner of my eye like that. It's actually quite hard to try and film the right angles and not getting away. Get away. I don't know what I'm trying to say. Get in front of the camera, Jesus. So I'm just going to color in the end of the liner. Okay, so you guys can see how this is creating a different shape. We're not finished yet, but it's a lot thinner towards the end of the liner. Excuse the nails. Isolation is killing me when it comes to nails. I had to rip all mine off. I'm so sad. My fingers look so gross. Anyway, back to the video. It's looking a little bit messy, but we're going to go in and clean that up. So what I'm going to do now to finish it off is just connect a thin line from the inner corner and drag it out and just connect it up to that outer corner. So I'm going to try and do this on a different angle so you guys can see it the best. So I always squint my eyes when I do this because I like to know what the liner is going to look like when the eye is open, and I can't close my eye like that and do liner and leave one open. I just feel so awkward. I have to tilt my head back a little bit and create the wing like this. So that's literally it. Just creating that super thin line across the top. With this one, I'm going to show you a different technique on how easy it is to clean up if you do make any mistakes or make it nice and sharp. It is a little bit wacky, so we're going to make it nice and sharp, and that is done on that eye. So grabbing a cotton tip and some makeup remover. I just love the Micellar Water. I'm just going to put a little bit on the end and just simply swipe along the eye. And it's just going to help create a nice sharp wing. So instead of using a cotton tip, you can also use concealer and a concealer brush and do the exact same thing, and that's just going to sharpen up that area as well. So you can definitely see this one is like a daytime and then this one is more of a nighttime, but both of them are so easy to achieve. The only problem is you just need to match both eyes as symmetrical as possible. So I really hope you guys learned from this video. This is just what was easy for me, so I thought I would share my tips and tricks with you guys on how to achieve a wing liner for hooded eyes or for beginners. It's the same concept, it's just everyone has different shaped eyes, so you're just going to angle your wings a little bit different. If this video helped you at all, or if you enjoyed watching, please give it a big thumbs up, and don't forget to subscribe to my channel and join the family, and I'll catch you guys all in my next one. Bye!